Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to day 31 in week 7 of commercial diving school. In this video, I'm going to be going over how our dive day went today and also going over the various knots that we had to tie today. So don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave any comments or questions down below. So today is the first day of the third week of our sophomore module, and like I said, we're diving all week, the whole entire week this week. And for today, we started off with bacon and eggs for breakfast, and then we went into the muster at 8 a.m. Immediately after muster, we started setting up our dive station to start getting divers in the water. So we are doing a dive schedule a little bit differently. We're not everybody's getting a chance to dive every single day. So we basically only had 2 groups go today, and there are 2 groups of 4. So 4 divers in one group in the morning, and then in the afternoon we did another group of 4 divers. And each group had about 2 hours, or exactly 2 hours of bottom time. And today we were doing rigging of various knots, and some of the knots we were just doing to the line itself. Some knots we were tying to shackles, some knots we were tying to like about 4-foot pipes. So I actually was in the very first group, so I got to dive today, and I got to be one of the first divers diving today. So basically, after we jumped in, you would grab the down line. So basically what we did for a down line was we had about, I would say, 30-foot nylon rope, and we tied that to cinder block and basically lowered that into the water. And then once the divers got in the water, we would take the cinder block that's sitting on the bottom, and we would basically drag that out about 10 feet away from the dock, and then that would create kind of like a diagonal line, so that we can stand basically where the cinder block is, and then whenever they send something on a shackle, it's basically going to slide down that diagonal down line, and it's called a down line. So we basically waited there, and then topside would basically send down a shackle with a line on it. So the first knot we were expected to tie underwater was a bowline knot. So you would tie your bowline knot, and then you would say, topside up on retrieval. So you have your down line, and then the shackle with your line on it that you're going to tie your knots to or on, that is called your retrieval. So down line, retrieval, that's sliding up and down on it. So they send your retrieval down once you're done with your knot. So let's say the bowline, you're done with the first knot, you would say up on retrieval, so they would take it back up. Then the instructor would look at it and make sure that it's a correct knot. If not, you would have to try again. So the second knot we did was the square knot, and then we did the surveyor's knot. We did the clove hitch, then the sheep bend or double sheep bend, then the buoy knot, and then we did a round turn and 2 half hitches, and then we went on to the trucker's hitch. Now the trucker's hitch, we were sent down a probably 3-inch diameter pipe, so about that big around, about 4 foot long, and it was tied to the retrieval in the middle, and then you had 2 shackles. So basically you would it would be tied to one of the shackles, and then you would do a trucker's hitch in the middle, and then it would go through the other shackle, and then you'd put your line through the trucker's hitch that you did, pull it tight, and then you would do like a quick release, and then you would lock it down, and then that would be your trucker's hitch knot. So you do up on retrieval, the instructor would check that. And then for the rest of them, it's basically 2 configurations of a pipe. So you would have the pipe, and for the last 6 knots that you would have to do, you're either, for 3 of them, you need to rig your pipe that you get sent down. You need to rig it to either come up horizontally or vertically. So basically, if you're underwater and you need to pull up a pipe and they send you down a rope, you need to basically send it up however they tell you that you need to send it up. So if they want you to send a pipe up horizontally, you need to rig that pipe so that it basically ties here, and then they can pull it, the middle joint pulls it up horizontally. For vertical, it's basically tied here, and then it has like kind of a grip here, and then it has another grip here, and then they would pull it up this way and it would go up vertically. So for the first 2, you would tie horizontal and vertical, but you would do it with a regular line. And then you would do another horizontal and vertical, but this time you would use a sling. And then the third time you would use a different type of sling. So the first sling that you use is an eye and an eye, which is basically, imagine a sling that is together in the middle, and then it has 2 eyes. The second sling is just one big loop. It's called an endless sling, and you basically kind of pretend like it's anyway. You use both of those 2 slings to rig horizontal and vertically. You basically do them all the same: the regular line, the eye and eye, and then the endless sling. Those 3, you have to be able to do a vertical lift and a horizontal lift. You basically tie them in the same way, but they're different, each one of them. So that's basically what we were expected to do in the water. We had 2 hours of bottom time to get all of those things done. Every time you completed one, topside would basically check it off that you did it, and you would have your name on a sheet saying that you did it. So once our group went, it was time for lunch, so we went to lunch, and for today we had beef stroganoff and some kind of green bean and other vegetables kind of thing. I don't know how to explain it, but it had green beans in it and broccoli and some kind of sauce or whatever. And then you also got a dinner roll with that. And then after lunch, the instructors felt like we needed like kind of a refresher course, because a lot of guys were like confused on the last few, like especially the ones where I was just talking about the lifting horizontal and lifting vertically. We weren't really shown too much of that yet, so we kind of needed a refresher for today. And I feel like after our refresher, after the instructor went over all the knots over again, I feel like everybody is pretty confident now to do the various knots in our class. So that was basically like an hour after lunch we spent doing that. And then we got our second group of the day in the water, and I was tending. So basically I was on top side holding the diver's umbilical, and then next to me was kind of like my co-partner that was sending down the retrieval down to the diver, and then the diver would rig the knot, and then they would send it up, and then we would just call over the instructor to come look at the knot. So that was basically our dive day. This was the best day of commercial diving school so far. This is exactly what I've been wanting to do. All the stuff in the classroom has been so slow. You can imagine it's been boring, but And then you have the days that we were diving, which was really awesome. I loved those days, but we still were just like kind of walking around on bottom, but not actually doing any work yet. So this is the first day that we spent 2 hours in the water. We were actually in the water and not in a classroom, and we were actually doing something underwater and not just standing there and walking around. So by far. Oh yeah. Also, I have to talk about visibility. So when you're doing these knots underwater, you can't see anything. So, and half of them I did when I was like basically standing up, which you have about like, this distance of visibility. So you can put the knot like right here and barely be able to see what you're doing. Half of the other knots, I was kneeling down so I could set the pipe down and rig the pipe to, be retrieved. When I knelt down, you lose all visibility. You're completely in pitch black. So, and then once your eyes, that's another thing, is once your eyes adjust to the dark, when I got pulled up, I was like completely blind so by the sun. Because your eyes have to readjust to all the the brightness of the sun. But yeah, it was an awesome day, by far the best day. And I think I got pretty sunburnt because I was standing in the direct sunlight when I was tending. But yeah, so we got our second group in. Now for the rest of the week, tomorrow we're getting the rest of the class in, because I think we got about a third of the class in today, and then we have to get at least as much people as we can tomorrow, and then hopefully I think by morning time Wednesday we should have the rest of the class in, and then we'll recycle everybody. So I'll most likely be diving again probably Wednesday. I know that we also have a practical knot tying like kind of assessment. So we're going to be expected topside, not underwater. We're going to be expected topside to be able to tie all of these knots, and an instructor has to sign us off that we can do all these knots. So that's going to happen this week. And then I'm not sure what we're doing on Friday, because by then we should have all of the divers cycled through twice and have done 2 dives. So maybe we'll do shorter bottom times but get everybody in the water. But I'll definitely let you guys know. But yeah, that's everything that we did today and everything that's going to come up. So that's all I got for this video. If you like, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave any comments or questions down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Hope you have a great one. Peace.